This week, our first ever pastoral resident is leaving us. She's graduated from the program, if you will. And I can remember the day that she was ordained. I shared this story about how I counseled summer camp for so many years. And at the end of every week of summer camp, we were required to give one other person in the camp a secret pal gift. And I am the least artistic person on the planet. So I figured out that what I would do is I would make the same friendship bracelet year in, year out, week in, week out, the same thing over and over again. And eventually it kind of became a joke that everyone knew that if I had your name, I was going to be giving you this same friendship bracelet. The only thing I knew how to make. You know, I think that sometimes the church gets stuck in that kind of a rut. We only know how to make one thing. And so that's why it's so important to do what we have done, become a teaching and a learning church, which is exactly why we brought someone like Chris Hallam to our church to teach us how to make new things.
I wanted to share a thought with you all that I've been dwelling on. It's about rock climbing. I am a rock climbing instructor and a rock climber myself. I've been reflecting on the moment at the end of a long day of rock climbing when you're tired and your ankles are kind of shaky, your hands need to be stretched out. There comes a point where you put your foot on a rock that seems really small and you don't quite know if it's gonna hold your weight. In that pause before you actually put weight on it, sometimes your ankle is literally shaking and it feels like you're gonna slip off. And the only way to tell if that rock is actually going to hold your entire weight is for you to put weight on it. I've been thinking about this as I come to the end of my time with you all as your resident, because Kirk in the Hills has been that space for me to see what will hold weight in ministry. See, coming out of seminary, you're tired and you have learned all this theology, all of the best practices. It's a lot of book learning. But a church must trust in a newly minted seminarian, newly ordained, to try out the handholds and the footholds to see what will actually work. And there's no other way to learn what works in ministry, what actually works, except by doing it. In rock climbing, you must trust that your body will hold you. You must trust that the rocks will hold you too. In the same way that being a resident in a church, you have to trust each other that you're going to learn together, that you're going to grow together, that you will build a foundation of ministry together. And Kirk, you have been there for me, and I thank you so much. Yeah, I may have slipped off the rocks a few times and found some bad handholds, but I've also found some really sturdy ones. Your all's faithfulness and generosity with your time, with dinner church, with the other programs that I put out there before you, with my simple pastoral care calls and all of these things, that they needed trust to build, trust to grow, faith in one another. And so I thank you so much for providing that space, for being faithful to God in allowing me the chance to try out ministry, the chance to learn with you all. And I thank you all for your willingness to learn with me, to try new things and be unafraid. So Kirk in the Hills, as I graduate out of this residency, know that we have spent time building the foundation of ministry together. We have worked at showing God's transforming love in the world today. So thank you for this time and opportunity.
So maybe now you can see why I think Pastor Chris was the perfect first resident for Kirk in the Hills. As an artist, she helped us to see that we can make more than just the same friendship bracelet that we've been making over all the years. Friends, I hope she taught you how to make something, and I look forward to our next resident, what they might teach us, what we could make, how we can create, how can we be joined together as a community in new and exciting ways. But until then, stay warm.